stop right here.
Okay.
When you go into the home of a person who has intractable epilepsy, you know it. I mean, you just feel it. That entire family unit revolves around that one person. And that entire family unit's basically goal for every day is to get through that day.
Let's take 4, I believe. Mark?
Callan is 8 years old, and he suffers from a rare genetic condition. The primary component of it is epilepsy. He would have 70 to 100 myoclonic seizures per day.
Boaz sustained a significant brain injury at birth, and with brain injury comes many complications, one of which is epilepsy.
Ryan has autism and epilepsy and ADHD.
Julia had her first seizure at age 5. She went through full brain surgery, but still had what turned out to be hundreds of seizures every day.
I'm mother of twin boys who are 11 years old. One of my twins, Reagan, has epilepsy. He went from his first seizure in May of 2012 to having brain surgery a mere 6 weeks later.
When Owen was first diagnosed with epilepsy, we didn't know anything about that condition, and we didn't know anybody who had it. You spend all this time in emergency rooms, in hospital rooms, you don't know what to do. Doctors don't know what to do. You're just kind of floating out in this ocean by yourself.
We thought we had a normal kid that was just a little bit bouncy and all that. But when he started getting really sick and when he started reversing, where he was speaking before and now he's not speaking.
We had just dialed down all of our dreams for an independent life for her, thinking that she'd always have to live somewhere where there was public transit or we would always be driving her. So we just really wanted that sweet, happy child back. And she was so heavily medicated, and we just tried every possible thing. Chiropractic to dance therapy to music therapy, horse therapy. We've tried it all.
We've gone through how many medicines?
At least 9.
9 medicines.
Onfi, Zonogram, prednisone, Sabril. So we tried 4 meds. And did the seizures stop? No.
Maybe this is the combination, or this medicine with this medicine, add this medicine.
My child couldn't sweat for 6 years of his life, living in Texas. And it was a side effect of one of his medications. Anytime we went outside in the heat, I had to be worried about heat stroke.
There were times we'd call him kind of like a zombie baby because he'd just be so drugged up that he couldn't do anything anyway.
You're okay. Mommy's right here, honey. Mommy's right here. I knew it was coming. We had it. Mommy's right here. Okay.
It's heartbreaking to see your child hurting like that and you not really be able to do anything. When that's going on, you're just kind of helpless.
The first medicine works about half the time. The second medicine, whether you add it to the first or just try it by itself, only has about a 25% chance of working. The third, the fourth, the fifth, or the 25th medicine have altogether about a 3 to 5% chance of working.
You know, there's lots of options out there for what we can try, but lots of them have really terrible side effects that you're always warned about, but you think, oh my goodness, my child's gonna be on this kind of drug for the rest of their life, and at some point they're talking about liver failure and blindness and all of these very scary things that you think, but they're only 4 years old.
The doctors in Houston eventually said there was nothing else to be done that we hadn't already tried.
We had tried so many different pharmaceuticals, all of which had these negative side effects. And the stories we were hearing out of Colorado and California are these children getting relief without these devastating side effects. So who wouldn't want to try it?
When I learned about CBD and medical marijuana, I had a feeling that it would work for Owen.
We decided to start calling around up in Colorado. As soon as I said we lived in Texas, they were like, oh, whoa, whoa, you live in Texas, well, are you planning to relocate? Which of course we were not in a position to be able to move.
If you failed one drug, I will use another drug that has a different mechanism. And what CBD offers is another mechanism that many patients have not been exposed to before. And so in that way, I think it's another weapon that we can use to fight epilepsy.
So once CBD became legal, we of course hopped in and were like, where do we get it? Where do we sign up? So I kind of got my foot in the door right away, basically just nagged at my neurologist.
I went and picked it up in Austin, and I had such hopes, and I thought, could this really be happening?
The very first day we got it, we gave him his first dose at night. He actually woke up the next day and said, hi.
We've had 5 full years of seizure freedom. He does everything that other 11-year-old boys do. He plays on a soccer team, he plays basketball, he swims, he jumps, he does kids triathlons. He is living his very best life because he's not having seizures.
I do spin at 6:30 in the morning, and I don't think many 11-year-olds do that. None of my other medicines that I have done what the CBD oil has done for Ryan, because he no longer has the seizures.
Seizure-free for 1 year now. It's so amazing. I never could have dreamed of it, and being able to get my license, didn't even know that was a possibility growing up, so incredible.
The irony was we had just put a $5,000 deposit down on a seizure dog, and now we need the car, not the dog.
He continues to say hi. He now says bye. He also says hello. I've heard I love you, which is, as a mother, come on. I never thought I would get that.
From hospital and wheelchair to crossing the line at a triathlon, I cry every single time.
Just a tiny bit has helped him so much.
So us as a family now, we have some freedom to be able to start to do things together, to take small vacations,
To go to the store.
To go to the store.
It's kind of lucky, because the one thing that helps him is non-addictive, non-toxic, it's natural. You could give him as much or as little as he needs, and he just functions.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. The only problem is it's expensive.
Now we essentially work extra. My husband has to go out and be away from our family longer, in order to support it.
The CBD oil that we're getting costs only $400 a month. Cash. Yes. And we would pay whatever it is. We would take on extra jobs, sell whatever, do without anything.
Because he was taking a higher dose, we were going through 2 bottles a month. It was hard because you either had to pick between your car note or your house note or your light bill. But everything else, I can live under a bridge if I have to, but his medicine comes first. Our credit score, don't even ask me what it is anymore.
Insurance doesn't cover CBD right now. It's just part of what we've had to allow for in our family budget month to month.
We can't wrap our mind around how something that has worked so well for our kid can't be available to more people, and also why it's so expensive.
It's just very difficult,
Yes.
The way that the legislature has made it for the doctors to agree to do it, and for the dispensaries and for the patients. And the patients end up having to pay for all of that.
We have had some issues with the school, specifically the nurses at the school not wanting to give the medication due to lack of FDA approval.
We've had a lot of friends say, oh yeah, I bet she enjoys that because you get high, but
It's frowned upon, it feels like, because of the stigma.
yeah, I think as a society, especially as a small town, conservative Texas, we could show that we have a prescription.
There were lots of risks, legal ones. They're probably being the most all-consuming. We were worried pretty much every day that Child Protective Services would come knock on our door.
We are not allowed to bring our oil to the hospital because of the whole, is it legal, is it illegal, is it a controlled substance?
We're just chasing hope here, and we're trying to treat our son. So why do we need to have failed 2 other medications just to even consider this? Remove those restrictions. Let a doctor prescribe what he feels is right for the child.
Pharmaceuticals will be pushed and given without question, but in order for me to get this, I have to have 2 doctor signatures. I have to beg for it and then looked at like I'm wrong for giving my child medication that's helping him. I don't have anything to gain from this except that my child is doing better, learning, saying words, not having seizures.
Right now, Texas is arguably the most restrictive market out of the states that have a legal market, and there's 40 of those. But out of the 40 that are out there, Texas has the most restrictive market for medical cannabis. For years, we've heard legislators in our state talk about the need for science. Show me the science. And that science is now being delivered.
Before CBD oil, I had 200 seizures per day. After CBD oil, and thanks to that, I'm 1 year seizure free. And I was able to, this December, get my driver's license. This is unbelievable to me.
CBD oil is the thing that has given us the quality of life, the normal life, the independence, a life that is my own.
We see every day the incredible impact that our medicine is having on people, on changing people's lives, on changing families' lives, on frankly giving people their lives back that they otherwise wouldn't have. And it's all because of this medicine, it's all because of this plant.